Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is Smackdown Live. We are here in Albany, New York for what is going to be a big Smackdown Live given what we saw last week. Yes, Bobby Fish is still the WWE Champion. Yes, Bobby Fish is still going on his way to WrestleMania. Yes, we know who Bobby Fish is facing at WrestleMania. Last week we saw the debut of Kazuchika Okada on Smackdown Live and set his sights firmly on the WWE Championship and the main event of WrestleMania against Bobby Fish. Tonight Okada is here, but he will not be in action yet. He is not making his in-ring debut. Rather, it is now business within the Dangerous Alliance to talk back. Business for them to send their message back after Okada laid out Fish with the Rainmaker last week on SmackDown Live, and that is what we'll see here tonight. To kick things off here, Paul Heyman will have a few words to say in what should be a very interesting discussion. What will the mouthpiece of the Dangerous Alliance, the leader of the Dangerous Alliance, what will he have to say after seeing his WWE Champion attacked? Where does he go heading into WrestleMania? We'll find all that out, but that is not the only person we'll be hearing from here tonight. We will be hearing from CM Punk, seeing what is next for the self-proclaimed best in the world. Where does the 5-time world champion go from here? Is there any path for CM Punk to go from here? We'll find that out tonight. We know that one is certainly going to be a personal talk from CM Punk. But then we get to our main event, and this one has got a great main event. This one has even got a WrestleMania worthy match written all over it. It is Bobby Fish and Shinsuke Nakamura. It may not be the man that Bobby Fish wants to face, but it is the man who he has to face here tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to give him one hell of a tough fight, that's for certain. And if you know something about Nakamura, he has no problem whatsoever beating down Bobby Fish. This one's going to be a great episode of SmackDown Live, and we're going to kick things off by hearing from Paul Heyman. Here he is, Paul Heyman. In some ways, the man of the hour. Certainly in this moment, the spokesperson of the hour. What does Heyman have to say on behalf of the WWE Champion, Bobby Fish? What does he have to say on behalf of himself? What does he have to say for the Dangerous Alliance? What does he have to say to Kazuchika Okada? These are all questions that should be answered right now by Heyman. And that is immediately what he's gone into. Of course, after the ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman shtick. Heyman knows what is around the corner. He knows the WrestleMania is there, and he knows who the opponent is that faces them in that hour. Kazuchika Okada. Fish welcomes the challenge. Okada has done so much in 2017. He made NXT his own. He was the best champion they could have asked for. He won the Royal Rumble to kick off his 2018, but that is the peak of where his year goes. Because when Kazuchika Okada gets into the ring with Bobby Fish, he will learn that it is nothing like NXT. Heyman claims that NXT is a boys' club, and this is a man's game, and you will learn there is no man greater to do it on SmackDown Live than Bobby Fish. So Heyman implores Okada, bring all the rain you want, bring all of your ability that you want, bring your robe, bring whatever you want to WrestleMania. It won't save you, it won't stop you. It's Kazuchika Okada who won't be reigning, it's Kazuchika Okada who will be waning in pain at the hands of Bobby Fish, who rains down on Okada and remains WWE Champion. Paul Heyman has not gone on a back foot from last week at all. As a matter of fact, it's almost the polar opposite. Heyman's on the front foot for the Dangerous Alliance. Heyman and co seem confident. Too confident. Well, while Paul Heyman can present himself as overconfident as he wants to be, the fact of the matter is his WWE Champion, his client, is going to have to go face to face with Kazuchika Okada. He has no way of getting around it. He's got to face that man head on at WrestleMania. Okada said that, well, he didn't say it, he showed it. Actions have a tendency to speak loud, and they certainly did last week when Okada made his way out, stood face to face with Fish. And then it was at that moment you practically knew it was settled, but it was a little bits after Fish's attempted attack to try and get an upper hand in what could be a long-term war between the two. Certainly a strategic mindset maybe by Fish as he low-blowed him, but it didn't end up playing out the way he wanted to. Okada laid him out with the Rainmaker and held the WWE Championship up to close out SmackDown Live. That was a signifier that Okada wants Fish. And at WrestleMania, he will get him. We are 5 weeks away from the grandest stage of them all, and we are 5 weeks away from watching Okada and Bobby Fish one-on-one for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania. It is going to be big, that's for certain. Make no mistakes about it. That is going to be out of this world to witness. But we are minutes away from the Intercontinental Championship being defended. Cesaro here tonight, getting his opportunity against Finn Bálor. Now, I know you may be thinking, if you tuned into last week's SmackDown Live, how did Cesaro get the opportunity, given the fact he lost to Kota Ibushi? It's simple. Finn Bálor has decided that for what Cesaro has been doing to Jay Lethal as of late, that he needs to take matters into his own hands, that instead of trying to attack someone from behind or attack someone once it's all said and done, when you attack someone within the rules of the ring, when you pick on someone who's not afraid to fight back 24/7. And that is what Finn Bálor has done here tonight, is of course that Finn Bálor's picking and choosing who he can face for the Intercontinental Championship, and it is Cesaro who he will face here tonight. Finn Bálor came off of last week's defense against Ricochet, I think it was. In what was a very interesting matchup. Certainly went to show how talented Ricochet is and how he really is almost in some ways maybe a sleeper talent, but maybe in some other ways a guy who, when he reaches that potential of his, when he reaches that point, he is going to excel on a grand stage. That Intercontinental Championship may well be around the waist of Finn Bálor right now, but for all we know, in a short while it could be around the waist of Ricochet. If his performance as of late is anything to go off of, especially last week's performance, it could be also around his tag team partner Kota Ibushi. Golden Star still awaiting his opportunity at that title, certainly one that he deserves, and certainly one that he may be waiting for a little while for. Maybe until the grandest stage of them all, who knows? I can only speculate as a fan of this brand, but what I do know is that Cesaro and Finn Bálor are set to meet here tonight. This one should be a good one. Very interested to see what Cesaro will do to try and capture that Intercontinental Championship. Cesaro, of course, already a Triple Crown champion within this universe. This would just add to the tally of titles that he already holds. Cesaro, a two-time, I do believe. Yep, I think it is. Two-time ECW Tag Team Champion, one-time WWE Tag Team Champion, former ECW Television Champion, and former ECW Champion as well. Finn Bálor, on the other hand, two-time World Heavyweight Champion, currently in his first Intercontinental title reign. You see this, what Finn Bálor does before the match. He gets himself into the zone. He gets himself prepared and ready to do battle. He calls upon his followers. He calls upon the members of Bálor Club to help him through this matchup, and he's going to need that against Cesaro with this mean streak he's been on as of late, with this careless, harsh attitude he's been on. He will certainly use it to his advantage to try and pick Finn Bálor apart. At the end of it all, Cesaro could be the Intercontinental Champion for the very first time. Here we go, the bell rings in this one. The Intercontinental Championship is ready to be defended. Cesaro looks to get the early upper hand on Finn Bálor, backs him into a corner and then strikes first. No respect from Cesaro as we see early on here, just clubbing away now. And Finn Bálor up and over into the outside. Championships, the champion's advantage may well be in play, but that doesn't matter to Cesaro right now. What matters more importantly, is getting in Finn Balor's head early. All he's trying to. Oh my God, powerbomb down on the announce table. Mere moments into this matchup, and Cesaro was already looking to maim the injured Finn Balor. Balor, of course, suffered injuries to his upper back and his neck at the hands of Kevin Owens. Came back early, still feeling the punishment from them, and Cesaro has capitalized on them right away here. But Finn Balor has been through more than one battle where they've targeted his neck, and he knows how to fight back, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Balor looking to get a quick fight back here against Cesaro. Cesaro looking to try and keep Balor down on his quest to becoming Intercontinental Champion. Suplex there though by Balor. While Cesaro certainly has the height advantage, and I believe the weight advantage by some ways as well. Finn Balor's not going to let that overcome him. Great counter there though by Cesaro to roll out of the way, and German suplex again. Going back to the areas of Finn Balor, far less than 100%, but with how Cesaro's been acting over these last few weeks, it is hardly a surprise. But still, that strength is at play. Cesaro, of course, after losing his match to Ibushi, cost Jay Lethal his match last week. Laid him out in the ring. And now he is getting an Intercontinental Championship opportunity because of it. But it is, as I said on the ramp, Finn Balor wants him to pick on someone who can actually have the ability to fight back. Well, right now, he is doing that, and Cesaro is giving him a real tough time to try and fight back with. Just clubbed at him there. Cesaro feels awfully confident right now. This is a side of Cesaro that we haven't seen for a good nearly 2 years now, as far back as the NWO. Good year and a half since we've last seen this. Air of cockiness and smug attitude to Cesaro, but he hasn't done anything yet to deserve this smug attitude. He's just been acting different in the ring. He hasn't won any matches yet, or any matches that really mean anything. He hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship yet to start acting like this. At the time when Cesaro was acting in this attitude, he was, of course, the ECW champion. That hasn't made a difference to him here. He is soaking in the confidence right now against Finn Balor, just kicking him in the back there in the neck. Almost toying with him, begging him to try and fight back. Finn Balor needs to fight back, because he is in big trouble here. The uppercut train rolling in there. Cesaro is completely all over Finn Balor right now, and this in a way is not what I want to witness. Cesaro here may make Finn Balor pay for choosing him for this matchup, because here come the triple deadlift gut wrench suplexes. There's the final one. Does it result in a new Intercontinental Champion? To kick things off here on Smackdown Live, there's two, and no. Finn Balor says that's not happening. And keeps his fight back going. Yeah, well, what little fight back he's got right now. He's just taking everything that has been dished out at him. But finally there he gets a little opening for himself. And he needs more than an opening. He needs a flurry of maneuvers to get himself back into this one as soon as possible. And that's exactly what he's looking for here. Double forearms in the face. Sling blade. Cesaro taken aback by the fight back and indeed the speed of Finn Balor. In one quick breath. Well, he better catch his breath for as much as he can, because this one's going to take the wind right out of you. Shotgun drop kick. And if that didn't take the wind out of you, well, this one will make sure that you won't breathe anymore, because here comes Finn Balor. Coup de grace! And the cover that follows. 1, 2, 3. It does it! Finn Balor just made Cesaro look a bit like an embarrassment. All this tough talk by Cesaro, and that is what resulted in it. A below average performance by Cesaro's standards. And one coup de grace gives Finn Bálor the Intercontinental Championship to go home with. That is disappointing for Cesaro. How we can be happy with letting something like that happen, I'm not too sure. Jay Lethal, you better watch your back, because he may come in swinging after you again. But that is what we have witnessed. And that is how we've kicked off SmackDown Live. Finn Bálor retains the Intercontinental Championship here. And when he heads into next week, it'll be 4 weeks until WrestleMania, and you've got to think that they will be looking to try and find a challenger for that title of his. Will Finn Bálor retain, or defend rather, his Intercontinental Championship again next week to continue this going, or will he let a new pool of challengers come in to try and go after him? We'll find out. He certainly is going to be Intercontinental Champion next week, make no mistake about it. But we're going to move on now to our next contest. It's a singles matchup, and what I have managed to do is successfully forget the people in it, I think. No, it is not a singles matchup. I don't think that is my bad. My apologies. I believe it's a tag team matchup up next, involving MKULTRA and the War Machine. Woohoo! I was correct. I got to look at the match card 5 minutes before we came on air. Here comes MKULTRA towards the ring. Anyway, it's been a little while since we last seen these guys in tag team action. Maybe the last time we saw MKULTRA was one of these men getting decimated by Brock Lesnar. I think it might have been Raven, now that I think about it, but they are here to go up against the WWE Tag Team Champions in non-title action, of course. And this is an interesting trio, of course. Those who follow Raven's tellings and doings. We see there Alexander Wolf, on the other side Luke Harper. Interesting to see what duo goes at it here tonight. We've seen Wolf and Harper go at it more often than not. Whether or not that'll change around this time, we will have to find out. But MKULTRA certainly looking pretty good right now. They seem to be on the same page. They seem to be working well together. And that graphic there says Alexander Wolf and Raven. So I'm going to assume it is Alexander Wolf and Raven. Harper stands on the outside as War Machine head towards the ring here. Tag Team Champions are ready for this one. What a great look it is for them as well, with those belts around their waists. Hansen and Raymond Rowe, who of course won those tag team titles now just over a month ago from the Young Bucks, and then defended them the week after against Future Shock in what was an incredible main event. But it is Hansen and Raymond Rowe who were able to overcome both champion and challenger on those separate weeks to hold on to those titles and win those titles as well. And now they move on to defending those titles. Where do they go with this? Where do they go heading forward? Where do they go heading into WrestleMania? Is there a rematch on the horizon between either of the Bucks? I do believe the Bucks are still deserving of a rematch. Will Future Shock be getting a potential opportunity at any point, or could MKULTRA pull off a massive upset here and allow themselves to propel right up to that #1 contendership and the opportunity with those tag team titles? We will have to find out about that all, but Raymond Rowe has started this one off against Alexander Wolf, and he is in no good mood right now. To give him a window of opportunity in this one, just swinging away here until Wolf countered, and there it was. And what a hefty counter it was to follow up from the forearm. German suplex there. And it seems as if Raven wants in early here. He wants a piece of the tag team champions. Raven now, Irish whip to Raymond Rowe. What has he got in mind here is unorthodox, borderline dangerous offense. Could well catch the powerhouses that are War Machine completely off guard here. On the shoulders. Death Valley driver. Oh, fireman's carry. Like a fireman's carry neck breaker than a Death Valley driver. Raymond Rowe in a little bit of trouble there, but look at that. Able to evade quickly and send Raven back down. But you know, when Raven gets struck with moves like these, he welcomes the punishment. And he may be on his way for a grand deal of punishment, because in the ring now is Hansen. Take a look at the strength we see from this man right away. A trio of, a duo even of back suplexes, and then a German to finish off that trio. This man has been showing his strengths for a very long time now. Speed, agility, just complete destruction. Hansen has possessed it all. He was, I would argue, very much so the key reason why War Machine won those tag team titles from the Young Bucks. But now they have to continue holding on to those titles. It's got to be a duo effort to hold on to them. And right now, Raven is trying to make it difficult for them to work together from the top. He goes, oh, just flung himself at Hansen. No intention there, no idea what he was even looking to hit. He just flung himself at him and was lucky to connect with whatever he did. But Hansen now is getting a little bit of payback for it. Reverse suplex there. That was rough. Very rough indeed for Raven to endure. In the corner we go now, and another tag made. The champion's starting to fire up here. The cylinder's starting to get a running. Double shoulder tackle, and Raymond goes down. Hansen brings him up quickly for Raymond Rowe to go to work on, and indeed he will there. Up and over the head. Alexander Wolf again looking for the tag in there, but he can't get it. Raven. A little bit of basic maneuvers, but effective it seems as he hit that arm dragon. Leg drop onto the subsequent arm, and there it is. Taking a page out of Luke Harper's book there with a discus clothesline. Will this lead in to Raven? No, I was going to say, will this lead into Raven looking for the even flow? Well, if he was, he didn't get it. Kicking the back of the leg there. Raven certainly trying for victory, though. Taking everything that Raymond Rowe is dishing out at him and giving back. That is, of course, how Raven will operate, though. He'll take all the punishment that he can and spin it right back against you. Counter there, though, by Raymond Rowe, and oh, went for a lariat there. Didn't really catch all of it. Was able to catch all of that suplex again and bring him down. Alexander Wolf is getting more and more frustrated here as he's unable to get the tag in, as he's unable to save his leader from the punishment now being inflicted at the hands of War Machine. And look at that, Raymond Rowe threw him into his corner. He was telling him, go on, tag yourself in, I dare you, and indeed he has. And he went right into the barrier that was the foot of Hansen. Oh, and he's got something devious planned here. Collision between MKUltra. Hansen makes two bodies collide into one, and now looks to apply the finishing pieces here. All that fight, all that anticipation for Wolf to get in the match, and it may well quickly fade out. Tag made again here. And the double shoulder tackles this time for Wolf. It ain't looking good for him, though. Raymond Rowe throws him back into the turnbuckle here. Doesn't get the chance to make the tag in. Instead, he's going to hang him up here in the tree of woe. This one could be interesting. Oh, my God. Just clubbed his leg there. And that actually gave Wolf a chance to counter. But not as much as he would like to have done. Oh, now there's nowhere to turn. Now you're locked in the corner of War Machine, and prepare to feel this one as the big leg drop comes down. That one should finish the deal. That one should take care of MKUltra. The cover, the count, the victory. War Machine as easy going about business as ever. Victory for them here tonight. That is why they are the WWE Tag Team Champions. And whoever looms around the corner next, whether it's the Young Bucks getting their rematch, whether it's Future Shock getting a rematch, whether it's a team like the Revival or the Ascension, or someone who we don't even know about looking to get their name out there, that's the team you have to go through if you want to be Tag Team Champions. A dangerous team, and a team that can't be overlooked for even a tenth of a second, because if you do, the only thing you'll be looking is up at the lights While War Machine are celebrating their victory. Just saw it there with MKULTRA. Job done for War Machine. It's almost an easy sailing road, but when those tag team titles have to be defended, that road's going to get bumpy for them. Well, there we go. There's that job done. And you want to talk about a man who knows a lot about defending. You want to talk about a man who is happy to hold on to a title or even a crown. Coming up next, for the first time since winning King of the Ring, Kenny Omega is in action, and he goes up against Jay Lethal. Lethal knows that he can't overlook this matchup, though, by any stretch. He just saw the man who has been trying to get under his skin as of late suffer a loss earlier in the night. Now Lethal can get a bit of a bragging rights over him by picking up a win here tonight. But his opponent, oh, is his opponent on top of his game right now? Is his opponent feeling like he is on top of the world right now? And does he have a claim to say he belongs on top of the world or what right now? Kenny Omega overcame every challenge put in front of him, every doubter put in front of him essentially, and won King of the Ring for a second time. And now here tonight he has his first match since winning it. It's interesting to think though what might be going through the mind of Kenny Omega. You think back to 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks ago, actually. It was last week, wasn't it? Omega said to everyone that out of who he didn't care who won out of Fish and Punk. He wanted a shot at one of them. He said he deserved a shot at one of them. And now look, who's the one getting the shot? It ain't Kenny Omega, it's Kazuchika Okada. That has got to be something that Omega can't be best pleased about. Even though he looks pretty damn confident here with the Elite out in full force, the Young Bucks here. But I believe what is actually the first time since they lost those tag team titles. But here is the trio known as the Elite. Kenny Omega goes down towards the ring. I imagine he's in good spirits, but maybe there is a bit of Omega that is lying in some sense of agitation. You know, he wanted that WrestleMania match. He thinks he deserved that WrestleMania match. And in many ways, I can't argue against it. He certainly did. Look what he pulled off. He won King of the Ring for a second time. But he's not getting that shot. So it begs the question of what will Omega do to try and get that shot? Will he just sit by and let it slide and get first crack at the champion after WrestleMania? Or will he try and do something about it? I can only speculate. I don't know the answers. I'm not in Kenny Omega's head. I'm not his conscience telling him what to do. What I certainly am, though, is I'm a fan of Kenny Omega. And I want to see him do really, really well. But he may have to wait in line. It does have to be said. Because let's be honest, we all want to see Kazuchika Okada go to the main event of WrestleMania as well, and become WWE champion as well. So maybe it is a waiting game for Kenny Omega. We'll see what he decides to do. We'll see if he can bring himself to wait around or not. As for right now, there's no waiting in this one. He's going up against Jay Lethal one-on-one here. Lethal wants a big win, and a big win he would get if he defeated Kenny Omega. If he beat the King of the Ring in this one. But he's got to try and overcome that. He's got to try and overcome the doubts as well in his mind of, is he able to do what he was once able to do in this universe? Can he be the Jay Lethal that is the longest reigning United States champion in the history of this universe? Can he be that Jay Lethal again? Or is he going to struggle even with Cesaro? Or has Cesaro's ploys of trying to get in his head worked? Have they proven successful? Or can Lethal shove it to him and to everyone who thinks that he is past the man he used to be? Well, he's certainly got to try and prove that here. Win or lose, he's got to try and fight here against Kenny Omega. And he's got to try and show his value. And here he goes now. No, he doesn't. Omega again stopping him in his tracks. Single underhook. Brainbuster! A page out of the book of Finn Bálor. How interesting, given of course that was the man who defeated Kenny Omega for the Intercontinental Championship at the Royal Rumble. This has been a good 80% Omega from the bell ringing in this one. Face first there. Down though goes Kenny Omega now. Can Jay Lethal get a fight back going here? Take a look at the agility there of Lethal. Self-proclaimed greatest first generation wrestler in the world. Going at it. Good elbow drop there on Omega, but he needs to keep firing away here. He needs to keep these shots going. He needs to deny Kenny Omega the chance back in this one. This could be Lethal's hour. He's just got to try and get there. Here come the strikes now from Jay Lethal. But there is a quick stop in your tracks, courtesy of Kenny Omega. And here it comes, the electric chair into the German suplex. Planted down you go. And all of a sudden, Jay Lethal's looking in trouble, but he does a great job there to roll out of the ring. The Elite staring him down there in that moment, but Lethal did well to not get too close to them, not try and aggravate them either. Up on the shoulders now. No, Lethal counters it. Step up in Zaguri. This matchup very much so back and forth, very fast paced as well by both men. Forearm shot. What will Lethal look for here? Lethal ducks. Oh, look at that. That is great by Jay Lethal. Incredible agility to hit that one. Kenny Omega looked a little bit stunned by it as well. Went for the forearm shot though. Omega countered it. Gonna look for that neck breaker. He ain't getting it. Get a spin kick into the gut though, and a forearm now. Here come the strikes again by Jay Lethal. Goes up the ropes. Hurricanrana now. Omega's King of the Ring victory is looking almost hollow in many senses, because Jay Lethal is bringing it to him. Lethal is determined to be the man he once was. Hurricanrana there. But Lethal does look a little bit... I don't know what the correct term to use for it, to be fair, right now. He looks a little bit sluggish in some sense. He looks like he's too afraid to try and put together a finishing sequence. He's just throwing together moves, and Omega knows exactly what he's looking for. And he knows to apply the finishing touch when he sees the writing on the wall. One-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega. One slip of the tongue, and Omega's in to finish the business. It is victory for Omega. It is victory for the Elite. And they come in the ring to celebrate. But look at that, Omega certainly feeling pretty damn good about it. The Elite are a strong force to be reckoned with. That's for certain. Kenny Omega as well, as he celebrates with the Young Bucks, is showing that he means business. Omega wants something out of this all. He wants to get somewhere out of this all. But where does he get? Where does he go? Is WrestleMania on the horizon for the cleaner? It damn well should be in my eyes. But he's got to get there. And I don't know if there is an opportunity. Hey, maybe it's a rematch against Finn Bálor at WrestleMania. If you think I'm going to say no, you might want to get your brain checked. No way would I turn down Omega and Bálor having a rematch. But Omega wants more, and you can sense that within him. He wants the WWE Championship, and he'll do anything to get his hands on it. But can he play that waiting game? We'll find out. Anyways, we're going to move on to our next contest here. No, we're not. Sorry, my apologies. We're not going to move on to our next contest. I heavily overlooked that. We are going to be hearing from CM Punk. We are going to be wondering what goes through Punk's mind now after losing his rematch last week to Bobby Fish. Where does the best in the world go from here? We'll find out. It is a somber mood in some sense for... Oh no. Oh yeah. I just got the news. I don't think we're getting it. Because guess what's happening backstage? An old rivalry is rekindled. Right now backstage, we gotta go there. Brock Lesnar has got CM Punk in his clutches. Oh my god, this can't be. Oh, no, 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 no. Not at a time like this. But why am I not surprised? Brock Lesnar trying to get the jump on Punk backstage, and it seems to be working to the Beast's advantage now. Punk is in the clutches of the Beast, and there's nowhere to turn from here. CM Punk was only prepared to have a talk about what happened last week, but instead he's at the mercy of the Beast. He is at the hands of Brock Lesnar, and there's nowhere to turn. Lesnar, just as he did at the Royal Rumble, will put Punk down. F5 by Brock Lesnar on the unforgiving floor backstage. The concrete floor, no less. Business done for tonight. Actions have spoken louder than words, and Brock Lesnar's actions have nullified the words of CM Punk. Well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to make of this. How? How do we let something like this slide? How do we allow Brock Lesnar to get away with something like this? How is there no action being taken against the Beast? How can we continue? How can SmackDown Live continue to stand by and watch Brock Lesnar do what he wants? I know he's Brock Lesnar. I know he's an unstoppable beast. But you've got to draw a line at some point. He has now screwed CM Punk on 2 occasions. Yeah, sure, the 2 occasions are different. One of them was a promo here tonight, but the other one was the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. And the SmackDown Live committee has done nothing to punish him. They've done nothing to reprimand him. This isn't a matter which is just, oh, there's nothing we could do to stop it. This is a serious, serious matter. Something needs to be done about this, because it's gone on before CM Punk. It's gone on for too long now with Brock Lesnar. And it needs to come to an end at some point. And that some point needs to be soon, or it's going to be too late to stop Brock Lesnar from just tormenting anything, everything, and everyone on SmackDown Live. This is a worrying moment for the SmackDown Live roster. Brock Lesnar, he comes and goes when he wants to, and he certainly veered his head back around for another go at CM Punk. He's got the say here tonight, but we all know CM Punk. We all know he won't let that slide. We all know there's a little more the Punk is going to try and get out of this one. And hopefully we get to see it very, very soon from CM Punk as well. But we're going to have to move on now. We've got a tag team matchup for us here. A women's tag team matchup involving the two women who will meet next week to become the #1 contender to the SmackDown Live Women's Championship in what should be a very interesting occasion. We saw Nia Jax on the other team, and of course Becky Lynch will be making her way out after this one. They had a triple threat match last week which involved those two and Sasha Banks. The loser of that matchup would have been kicked out of the chance to become #1 contender for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship, and it was Sasha Banks who submitted to the Disarmer, thus meaning next week it is Nia Jax and Becky Lynch one-on-one. Winner faces Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. It'll be certainly a very interesting affair, and well, here tonight it is just all about getting the victory over the other, getting a little bit of momentum over the other, getting into the head even of the other if they can result in it. Bayley is going to be on the side of Sasha Banks, though, Becky Lynch even. Despite those two facing off a few weeks ago, with Lynch picking up the victory, they look to work together here tonight to pick up the win. And we saw, of course, Summer Rae with Nia Jax helping her out there. Here comes the woman who it certainly sounds like this crowd here in Albany want to become the new #1 contender. Becky Lynch makes her way towards the ring. It is almost a year since she lost that Women's Championship at WrestleMania to Winter, and now could it come full circle? Could a full year pass? And could Becky Lynch recapture the gold away from Nikki Cross? That is what we come to find out. Of course, she's got to become #1 contender next week, more importantly than anything, over Nia Jax. And of course, in a triple threat match, it may well have been more beneficial to try and remove Nia Jax from the matchup. It may well have been a smarter idea to try and get her out, but that wasn't what happened. Lynch and Banks were a little bit too hands-on with one another, I guess you could say, and that cost them. Because, well, it certainly cost Becky Lynch maybe heading into next week's matchup, because she has to go up against Nia Jax by herself. There's no one to help her, no one to support her. And that could make for a very awkward and worrying matchup for Becky Lynch. And of course it did also not help Sasha Banks, given the fact that she's not going into that singles matchup next week. We see Summer Rae here and Bayley kicking things off. The two women who, of course, aren't in that matchup, but still squaring off here to get this one going. Clothesline there by Bayley. She's looking to get the better of Summer Rae on the off here, and into a quick cover she looks to go. Wow. Both these women in this ring right now are looking to try and create opportunities for themselves. And being in the ring with the woman who has the potential to become #1 contender could help. I mean, you know, there are ways you could look about this. If Summer Rae happened to pin Becky Lynch and then Becky Lynch became #1 contender, she'd have a stake to the claim. If Bayley pinned Nia Jax and Nia Jax happened to become #1 contender, she could have a stake to the claim. All of these are possible, but right now, the Summer Rae one, maybe not so much, given the fact that Nia Jax is the legal one in this one, and she is tormenting Bayley from the start here. Oh, down with a hard elbow drop. This is not looking that forgiving right now for Bayley. Oh, there we go. She finally slithers her way out of that one and brings her down with a reverse DDT. Bayley now going to look to make the tag in. We are going to get next week just a little bit early, as Becky Lynch now is the legal woman in this one. Double flapjack there to Nia Jax. Great strength by both women. And Lynch looks to unload away here on Nia Jax from the get-go. There's one leg drop and back the other way. What can Becky Lynch do here against Nia Jax? She has given up some weight to her, and Nia Jax just kind of made her realize that with how quickly she countered that. And hoofs her up and over her shoulder with an easy backdrop. Trying to trap a nerve there in the shoulder, trying to make sure that Becky can't use her arm to lift her up for any Bex plexes or even lock in the disarmer. Good counter though by Lynch. She ain't gonna let Jax get the best of it, but she can't. She can't take her off her feet there. The strength of Nia Jax to deny that. Great counter though by Lynch. Clothesline. Can she get Nia Jax off her feet here? She is trying, that's for certain. And after everything she tried there, a tilt-a-whirl DDT will get her off her feet. Summer Rae, though, looks to tag herself in. Jax seeming to tell Becky Lynch you have to wait until next week to continue this one. Summer Rae came in there with a bit of a mean streak for Becky Lynch. Counter, though, by Lynch now, and she sends Summer Rae up and over the ropes here. Great strength being shown there by Lynch, though. And it seems as if she doesn't want to wear herself out for next week, maybe. Both women who have tagged out now have to think tactically, and that has certainly ended up being the case. We're back to the original starting duo of Bayley and Summer Rae here. In the turnbuckle we go. Bayley in position, winding up and ready to strike. Oh, there's the exploder suplex into the turnbuckle. And Bayley looks to be the one who wants the win here tonight. Bayley to belly. She got her. And into the count. Becky Lynch can't stop Nia Jax, though. Nia Jax made the save, but rolls out of the ring following the crucifix. Summer Rae, though, looking out on her feet right about now. Counter, though. And from behind with a reverse DDT. Oh, God. Going to the side there with that neck crank. Very awkward one indeed, but Summer Rae now is all of a sudden found a window of opportunity for herself in this matchup. Oh, but good on Bayley there to be able to deny her. Sends her down with a dragon screw there. She brings her up to her feet and makes the tag into Becky Lynch now, though. Lynch with a hard forearm shot. And Lynch looking to finish this one off. Could this be Nia Jax's fate next week? The disarmer is in, but Summer able to flail her arm around there and get to the ropes. Might have been more beneficial for Lynch to go a little bit away from the ropes maybe before deciding to hit that one. Summer now with another counter. Fair play for her, for someone we haven't seen around in a good chunk of time. Summer Rae is holding her own in this matchup thus far. Couldn't get away from that tilt-a-whirl DDT though. And finally we get a Bexplex in this one. Beautiful move there. Nia Jax wants in this matchup. She's hungry for another piece of Becky Lynch, but I don't think she's going to be getting it tonight. An exploder suplex there by Becky Lynch. And that will lead into the disarmer on Summer Rae. And this time, there's no escape. There's no rope break on the horizon. Disarmer applied. Can Summer Rae get herself out of it? Can Nia Jax make the save? It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Summer Rae taps out. Becky Lynch and Bayley victorious here tonight. Nia Jax looks on in despair from the ropes. But next week, Lynch and Jax go one-on-one, and there can only be one winner. There can only be one number one contender for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Lynch may have the win here tonight, but Jax, with no one to help Becky Lynch next week, could have her right where she wants it. And could be easily on her way to a number one contendership. It could be that easy. But we know what Becky Lynch is like. We know how much of a fighter she can be. It could also be that tough to finish off Becky Lynch. We'll find out next week. Either way, Nikki Cross has got a damn tough challenger heading her way for that SmackDown Live Women's Championship. Well, there we go. We know what's going to happen next week between these two women, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to move on to our main event now. Bobby Fish has got to be rattled just somewhat. I would even argue more than somewhat after what happened last week. Can he put that behind him right now and focus on this matchup against Shinsuke Nakamura in the main event of SmackDown Live? We'll find out. That's coming up next. Well, here we go. I wonder what is going through his mind. Wonder what is running through the mind of the WWE Champion as he comes towards the ring here for this one. Bobby Fish, of course, defended his championship last week here on SmackDown Live, but it was the actions after that got more of a talk, and it's the actions now that they're going to get a talk, because that's not Nakamura, that's Okada, that's Okada. He's here to continue what he started. Okada has jumped the gun. Okada is taking Fish on right now. This was a setup all along. This is Fish's tactics being used against him. This isn't Nakamura having this matchup. This is Okada having this matchup. And Fish doesn't know what to make of it. I don't even know if Fish can make anything of it. Okada and Nakamura working as one. Well, put it in the notes. Let it go down in history, because this was Kazuchika Okada's SmackDown Live debut, and the WWE Champion is already deep in the clutches of Nakamura, of Okada even, and has nowhere to go. Look at Bobby Fish crawling around. This is Okada getting revenge for every time Fish went low, for every time Fish hit under the belt. This is an impromptu main event that even Bobby Fish couldn't have seen coming. Even the Dangerous Alliance didn't see this one coming. They haven't even tried to come to the aid of the champion yet, and I don't think they're going to have enough time to come to the aid either. Tombstone! And here we go. Is this what we'll see at WrestleMania to coin a new WWE champion? Rainmaker! 1, 2, 3. Okada swept the rug from underneath Bobby Fish here tonight. And just gained a huge bit of momentum heading into WrestleMania. Nakamura played the scapegoat and Okada played the final piece of the puzzle. Bobby Fish is back, was up against the wall, but now it seems as if the wall is caving in on him and Okada is getting closer and closer with every step that goes by. These two men are destined to do battle now at WrestleMania. These two men will meet in the main event, but Okada tonight has pulled one over on Bobby Fish once again. Last week it was just a Rainmaker. This week he completely got one over on the champion. And where does Fish go from here? Where does the Dangerous Alliance go from here? I don't know. There's going to be 4 weeks to go until WrestleMania next week. 4 weeks for Fish and Heyman to sort things out, or else WrestleMania for them will become a travesty. Okada stands tall. Fish, I'm not too sure how much longer he can be standing in general. That'll end this episode of Smackdown Live. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys. And ta-ra.